We all know why we're here. So let me ask you a question then. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, break it down, now can you peep it? They're deceiving all the people. Let me ask you, what's the secret? Misinformation and lies, a devious disguise. They want the EMF blast until our brains is fried. Oh, point their beams in the sky. Oh, it's a movie now. This world is all CGI. Their plot is truly foul, but we're here to rise up and bring the real. Time is now, truth seekers. Y'all know how I feel. Truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, why the big secret?
All right, truth seekers, what's going on? It is a day midweek. We call it Hump Day here in the state of Texas. And I hope each and every one of you have had a great day today. I want to welcome you if you're new here to Why the Big Secret. I'm Roderick Martin, and I will be hosting the podcast tonight with a few crew members who will be here in a little bit. But in the meantime, I just want to thank you for coming here. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I'm going to serve you. First, I'd like to bid you good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones of YouTube watching this channel tonight. But I do have a promise, and that is to be simply the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that'll certainly cause controversy. Maybe not tonight, though. But either way, we're going to have a good time always. So, it's late. If you want to put the kids to bed, go ahead. And if they want to stay here tonight, you know what? They can, because we're not going to talk about things that'll keep them up tonight. And so, it's kid-friendly tonight. But in the meantime, it's been a great time serving you here on the podcast. And I just been excited. So in the meantime, hit the like button if you find value into the channel tonight. Share it, comment later on, and all those good things. And let's get ready to get down to a show for you tonight. And again, I'm excited for being here. State of Texas, the jumbo state where these UFOs come out to play. And once again, it is a Texas thing, y'all. But I think tonight is going to change a little bit when we start talking about the states with the most UFO sightings. I think Texas is not ranked, out of 50 states or 51, or however we want to call it. We're not ranked, but we'll see where your state is ranked tonight. We'll move through this quickly because it is going to be a lot of them that we're going to talk about. So the first thing is first, let me look over into the chat and say hello to the truth seekers. And if you're new here, once again, we are truth seekers. And of course, we talk about those big secret keepers. And that's our metaphor for anybody in anything, any religions, institutions, government, or anybody that's hiding the big secret from why the big secret. So we call them the big secret keepers. All right. So let me look over here into the chat. We got Larry. What's going on today with you, brother? Mickey Bravo is here early tonight and she jumps in. C-Tech, of course. And then we have Wendy Williams. Oh, she said, oh, smack. I'm actually hit the live button. Sound like Wendy Williams. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully it ain't the real Wendy Williams. If it is the real Wendy Williams, welcome to the show. Jacob is here with us tonight. Let's go with that. Reese is here with us. Imaginary Ware is here with us. And let's see, Valerie, good evening to you as well. So, all right. So in the meantime, we'll get to talking here in just a little bit. And as always, we'll talk about some of the things. And if we get to one of your states and you get some little history lesson as well as how much these UFOs and where you rank as well. And if you were here from last night from the show over at Forbidden Knowledge, I want to welcome you for coming over tonight. We had a great show. In fact, we surpassed our first week we was there, and we ended up getting around 22,000 maybe views on that video, and we was live streaming to about maybe 1,200 people, and that was the first week. And then the second week we actually beat those numbers, and then last night we're now at about 35,000. We've added probably about 500 or 600 new subscribers since last night, so that is a thank you. So we're almost hitting that 4K mark. Can y'all believe that? The journey we've been on. When I was saying it was 1,000, and then I was like, oh, we got 22,000 and 2,500, and then we hit 3,000 celebration a few weeks ago, and now we're probably going to hit 4,000 subscribers. Probably about a weekend is over. Isn't that exciting, right? So welcome to, or thank each and every one of you as a team, as the community, and just everything. We're doing this together, and that's funny there. So Liberty said, hey, hi, I'm new from Billy Carson's channel. I'm excited you have for us tonight. Yeah, we're going to just talk about, well, you're going to miss it a little bit. You're in the UK, so I'm going to be talking about the 50, and we're talking about Liberty, Mackenzie. We're going to be talking about the states with the most UFO sightings. And of course, I'm in Texas, the jumbo state, and so this is kind of a United States thing. So don't be disappointed, but we can cover something in the UK. We can do that. And pretty much. And thank you, Mickey. Yes, for the congratulations. We'll definitely here to do something. And tonight, once again, we get back on track. We still got this book left. I'm surprised that we haven't raised enough to send it out yet. So I'm just surprised. And so we will commence of doing that little tonight as well. So, all right. So what did we start? Anybody seen any UFOs this past day? Or if you hadn't been here since over the weekend, I wasn't here Monday, and then we streamed on Forbidden Knowledge TV yesterday. So put it in the chat or if anything weird out there. Valerie says, I'm in Nevada. So yep, we'll get to your state as well when we get down to what we're doing. Jacob said, I see them all the time in South Texas, bro. What part of South Texas are you in, Jacob? Put that in the chat. Let me check that out, and we can kind of say, yeah, we're here. I mean, we're in a jumbo state. I always say that they come out to play here in the state of Texas. It's so big. And then we have some of the infamous cases from there. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about that. And of course, as the crew come in a little later, just kind of maybe we'll hit their states, I think, and I'm gonna do that. I'll bring them up when I get to their state if they're on the list somewhere, but they'll come in and out of this from there. So Jacob said New Brunswick. Oh yeah. We chat. Yeah, I want to get down to New Brunswick. They have a New Brunswick smokehouse. And of course, they got that little river thing you can go down, but the smokehouse is what I like. I used to get mail order from there. They have a lot of great smoke products, ham, sausages, and I know I need to leave that stuff alone right now. All right, so okay, we're gonna go from bottoms down. Okay, so we're talking about the 50 states. We're gonna roll through this. I'm not only going to tell you a little bit about that state per what we call per capita of 100,000 people. And then we'll also get into the point of a little, whatever's, I think, a most infamous UFO sighting in that particular state. So we'll talk about that as well. But as you know, UFO's been around a long time, okay, and we want to date it back to Roswell. No, we're talking back 1800s. We want to talk about Egyptian times and on the walls and all that. So this is not a new phenomenon. Now, of course, it's changing a little bit today because we get new aircraft, new technology, and I kind of like references to when people ask about flying saucers. And I tell people all the time, I really, if I get a case and somebody tell me, and let me stop for a minute, I am a UFO investigator for MUFON. Okay, so I do investigate UFOs here in the Texas area, but every now and then you might get somebody want to report a flying saucer, and those are the cases you got to cringe at a little bit because we haven't seen flying saucers since the 40s. Okay, because and people are like, well, they could still be using them. Not really, because you got to think about a 1957 Chevy and a 2020 Chevy. The technology is totally different. Same thing. So if they was already 1,000 years ahead of us then, imagine what they driving 70 years later or new technology. This is why we're seeing more these orbs or Tic Tacs and unmanned probably aircraft or whatever they're using because their technology has changed. And so just know that ours have changed too when we're talking about as we evolve as humans. So let's get into the first state. That's the last one on the list, and it's going to be a shocker. Okay, and I think it's a shocker to me, and so I'll get into it because it is technically the jumbo state. Okay, Texas, and it is the last one on the list, and I'm shocked about that. Totally shocked. There's been several famous sightings here, and the one in particular is the Stephenville lights, which was reported in 2008. And this is where dozens of residents entertained a small town of Stephenville. So these guys, and I met people who actually was there that day. And although the Air Force claimed that it was F-16s that had been flying in proximity at the time, eyewitnesses dispute those claims and saying that the lights were far advanced, such as the explanation that they've always said. So we get that a lot, right? You get that a lot that, So real quickly, though, I am going to bring the guys in, but I saw one of them pretty laugh when Texas is the last on the list. So I'm going to bring him up and let him have his laugh because we'll see where his state is. What's going on, Rob? So I saw you grin in the backdrop, Texas being last. So, all right, it looks like your mic is muted, so make sure you unmute your mic. Yeah, so on this end, it looks like it's muted. So let's see if we can do that for you. All right, hang on. All right. Okay, you all good. So yeah, I saw you cringe a little bit, laughing at Texas being the last one on the list. And so why was that?
Well, because I heard it's the state, it's the state where the UAP love to come out to play. That's what I heard. Yeah. So I would think, though, with it being one of the largest states, that you would actually not be last at all. But I guess because it's sparsely populated might be one of the reasons why.
Now, I don't know. So we'll get back to it. We're going to find, I'll bring you up wherever you guys are. So we're number 50, you in California. So we'll see. But, you know, it's a large place, okay? And here's where the UFOs come out to play. But we're talking about the capital of 100K residents here. So we got millions of people. This is what this reporting that I have up on the screen for. So we rank with what they call number 23. So, but we're number 50, but they say per 100,000, we have 23 sightings. And so that puts us way back on the list. But even we actually tie with someone else, though. So we'll get with that in a minute. All right. I'll bring you back, brother.
Yep.
All right. So we'll see what Rob, how we fall out on the list with him and everything else. So the next state, if you are in this particular state, and so meaning there's a lot of UFOs that's out there. So I definitely want to go ahead and share with you. So next up is the state of Louisiana. Okay. Now we're talking about they're known for that, a bit of mystery house, which is in Springs, but you know, they're also known for the UFOs. And there was one in Shreveport a lot long ago, and they call it near the Barksdale Air Force. And of course, they've had plenty of sightings there. So they actually are tied with Texas. Per 100,000 residents there, they've had about 23 sightings that people really report. And this is all coming from the National UFO Reporting Center from Peter Davenport. So if you know that site, definitely go check that out. And you won't be disappointed because there are so many reports there. So actually they get a lot of reports as well as MUFON does. So you definitely want to check that out. Sonia says Lubbock Lights. So yeah, but that's in our history, Sonia, but it still doesn't mean that that's the one. So next up, I think number 3, we're going from 50 down. So number 48 that's on the list is the great state of Mississippi. Okay. So Mississippi had two fishermen. I'm reading the notes here from Pascagoula River in 1975 claimed to have been abducted by aliens. Okay. While Charles Hickerson and Calvin Parker's story was met with a lot of cynicism at the time, there was other witnesses that came forward later on in 2019. I don't know how to substantiate their claims. So we're talking, this happened in 1975. All of a sudden, other people are coming out saying in 2019. And we get that a lot, though. Parker died in 2011. Okay. So it's been quite some time. But for other people to come out later on to substantiate his story is pretty weird when you look at that. So that's just something that we have to look at and see. All right. So we have a stream. Let's see here. Hang on. All right. So we're back. We're all good. I thought I saw a spinning stream area there. So again, that's Mississippi. So let's kind of get down to the next state. Now, this one here is where Jimmy Carter was serving governor at the time. So back in 1973, he filed a report with the Oklahoma's UFO Bureau. And this is kind of funny when you have a president at the time. I don't know if y'all knew the story, but he always claimed, the Peanut Man, that he saw the UFOs. And here's where it was. It was in the state of Georgia. Okay, so if you live in Georgia, they ranked, they had like per capita of 100,000 people, 27 UFOs sightings there. During that decade, they had their versions of Area 51, which is a nuclear aircraft and radiation testing facility in North Atlanta. So you guys, and a lot of UFOs show up in Atlanta. Okay, that's not in Atlanta, but over nuclear facilities. So that's something that we get a lot, especially reported in MUFON, that they do that. Now, they're also Georgia is known for abductions. Georgia is known for animal mutilations. So when you think about all of that, that's a pretty thing that's happening out there. And that's something that I'm doing some research on right now. So we're really going to do a big live stream on cattle mutilations. I really like the subject matter, and I've done a couple of videos, but we're going to do an extensive live stream on that one of these weeks on cattle mutilations and just really go into a deep dive. I've done a couple of live streams with it, but I found some new stories that I was there for that. So Jamie said, I've heard the story before. Which story have you heard, Jamie? He said Missouri needs to be on that list. We haven't got to it yet. So we on number 46 going down, descending. So Texas was 50, Alabama, which is where we get ready to go next. We just came out of Georgia. So there was a woman in 1989 that reported an unusual flight in the sky. This was in Fife, Alabama, if anybody heard of that story. Her report was followed up later by the police, who claimed to seen a large UFO there. And the result in excitement, people like 4,000 people descended on the tiny town. And so Alabama was definitely part of that list. So there are, so you can find it yourself. Go to Alabama, you're going to get you a good little pace there. But again, there was no sightings reported by the crowds. Perhaps, once again, as it says here, overcast, there could be some clouds and everything else. And that's one of the things that we do, here. And when I do a UFO report for MUFON, we definitely check what we call the underground weather to make sure what we're looking at, because oftentimes somebody will put in a report that, oh, I can see it clear as a day. And then when I pulled up the weather, it was cloudy, and it was cloudy earlier that day, because I can go to the exact time in our database, or not, it's outside the database, to see exactly what was happening. So if you say I saw a UFO, Roderick, at 5:52 p.m. And whatever day it was, I'm going to pull up, and I can, within a 15-minute radius or 10-minute time frame, I can pull up and say, okay, and they'll tell me if it was fair sighting, cloudy, or whatever the weather was. And if you were telling me you saw this thing and it was 20,000 feet up, which that's hard anyway, and it was on a cloudy day, then I don't get back to the person to kind of say this, but I think it's something from there. Jamie said the one about Jimmy Carter. Yeah, you know what? And they talked about that. Of course, his nickname for the peanuts on that side of the fence. But anyway, the next one is, I think this is going to be a shock to a lot of people, and you think they would have more UFO sightings. So they're number 45 on this list, ranked to have on an average of 28 sightings there per 100,000 people. So you want to multiply that by some million folks hanging around. But regardless, you would think they would have more sightings there, and that is, you guessed it, New York. The great state of New York is the one that have those particular sightings. But they're near water, and that's something I think you should pay attention to, because we get a lot of sightings near water. And we talked about that last night with Billy Carson's show. But there was I did a video. You might want to check it out, about the Great Northeastern Blackout, and this was back in the 50s or 40s, or no, 40, was it 48? I think there was a big blackout in New York, or no, 68, somewhere in there, because 9 months later they had a baby boom population, because so imagine that one. So I did a good video, check it out. But anyway, they said when an electrical surge explosion at Con Ed substation in Queens lit up the sky, this was in December of 2018, many were sure that the haze was a sign of a alien life. Of course, this has been debunked as well, but again, that goes back to get you thinking. Here it is, people see a big haze of light, and now they see alien life. And we get that a lot here in Texas. You see cloud formations, and you think it's some particular image of the greatness of things. So I'll get out of that a little bit. So the next state that we have on the list, and we're going to go through this fast, and then we're going to have a great conversation, a couple of other things I'm going to share with you. But all right, Maryland. Maryland is at the bottom of the list, ranked number 44 out of 50, going down to the top one. And their most famous UFO sighting is Alvin Cohen and Philip Small, who was around midnight of October the 26th, 1958, claimed to have seen a giant iridescent object floating over the bridge as they drove past the Loch Raven Reservoir in Townsend, Maryland. Anybody in Maryland in the audience that know anything about that situation, definitely want to hear that out. In stories like this, they keep alive. They have one called Mysteries of Space and Sky. So they have their own stories when it comes down there. But they were saying that the car included The electrical system died as the men pulled forward, and the oval-shaped craft floated briefly before letting out the flash of lights. Now, what I'm concerned about this story, being a UFO investigator in 1958, I don't know what was truly running their electronic bases and everything from there. So, look, I don't know if Rob is raising his hand like in school, like I got something to say. I don't know. So, oh, he's not. So, it's like, you think about electrical cars, and this would be a great question to bring into my guy here, Mateo. Mateo, you electrical engineering. 1958. Could a UFO turn off the electrical system of a car? Because I don't think they used those type of electronics back then, did they?
Oh, they could, absolutely. What it'll do is it'll just take out the ignition system. Like that scene in War of the Worlds when the UFO showed up and none of the cars would start.
But they had other cars that did start. What was it? And there was older vehicles, though.
Right. Well, maybe they were shielded or they repaired it, but that's the movies. But anything electrical, if there's a big electromagnetic burst,
okay,
it can shut it down. I mean, it doesn't have to have a circuit board. I mean, a car has got electrical stuff in it, even in the 50s. So no,
okay, well, yeah,
definitely
like
gonna happen.
Yeah, in that movie, like you said, they did show, but it was like I thought it was older vehicles that was kind of doing that a little bit. So I was like, all right.
Well, I mean, the simpler the vehicle, the better chance it's going to survive. But any big electromagnetic field, any car, old or new, is going to, conk out.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get into the next one there, and I think a lot of people, we're just kind of going over this a little bit. Jamie said, what about phones? We had our landlines knocked out for 24 hours. Now, see, so he's saying the landlines. We know that's kind of like the old technology. What do you think about that?
Totally. Look at Matt. Think about all the wires that are strung all along every street for all the phones. These are all huge antennas, right? This is where that Carrington event came from in the late 1800s. The Carrington event was this huge solar storm that caused this giant electromagnetic burst from the sun to hit the planet. And it was burning up telegraph lines. It was burning up all kinds of stuff. If that happened today, it would be a big problem because all of the phone lines pick that stuff up. All of the electronics picks that stuff up. But the more the wires, the longer the wires, the worse it is. That's why the whole thought of like an EMP attack, what an EMP weapon is, that can cause that problem too. And that'll not only take out the phone wires, but the electricity too. And because those wires will pick up the energy just like an antenna and blow out the transformers. And then we're all in the dark. So, UFOs are long known to cause electromagnetic disturbances, which affect everything electrical that we've got, big or small.
Wow. All right, man. So we're getting into this next great state of Virginia. And so there was a couple of UFO sightings in Virginia. Now, the National Reporting Agency in Virginia on April the 4th, 2019, at 6:48 a.m., eyewitnesses claimed to have seen a blue circular craft darting across the sky in Virginia Beach, heading east, if that matters, or east is this way. I don't know. But 7 minutes later, the eyewitnesses claimed that Norfolk, the naval station, which was 23 miles northeast, claimed to have seen a resembled shooting star. Now, I get that a lot. Some people ask me, can UFOs be shooting stars? And I think I had this conversation. I'm not for sure who it was, but we talked about that. Yeah, KG says, hey, let's run these likes up. Yeah, if you hear and you haven't had an opportunity, smash the like button. We're talking about the states with the most UFO sightings. We're counting down. We're at number 42, which Virginia is number 42 on that particular list. In fact, there were 2,348 UFO sightings from the National Reporting UFO Agency reported through the state between 2001 and 2015. So that's roughly 27.9 sightings per 100,000 people there. People, that's a lot of UFOs flying around. A lot of freaking UFOs flying around. And we think it's just an isolated incident, but it's just not. It's something pretty big from there. And don't forget, we're going to be raffling off this autographed book from Stanton Freedom and Kathleen Martin. We need a few there. So if you're going to get in on this, I thought we would have this one going. We already had one. And hopefully, and if you see value, you want to, super chat, you can definitely do that. And as well as I'll have the Cash App up in a minute so that you could, definitely get in on the book. And so we'll be going through that in a minute. So let me put this up here for you in just a moment. Okay, there you go. So if you want to support tonight's show, you can, if you feel compelled to do so. All right, so we're gonna have a good discussion. Oh, I need to drink some water. That was tongue twisted there. Wow. Well, we're gonna have a discussion. That's the word. All right, so let's get back into the main state there. Okay, that's fine. We'll get it. We're coming to you. The great state of Illinois is next. They had one of their infamous sighting was in 2006 around 4 p.m. 12 United Airlines employees, multiple witnesses inside Chicago's O'Hare Airport. We all heard about that. Y'all remember? Saw a dark gray aircraft floating above gate C-17. That's been one of the most infamous stories. Flight number 446 was prepping for departure, and they were saying roughly about 5 minutes, the UFO darted into the sky, broke through the clouds with enough pronouncement to reveal the blue sky. It's like it went like, phew, and the clouds are like open up and you just see the sun. They said no radar picked this thing up, even leading the FAA to deem the sighting a weather phenomenon. Can you believe that? They deal with that as a weather phenomenon. All right. So what do you think about that, Mateo?
That story drives me crazy because the thing that the audio, I don't know if you've ever heard the story or heard the audio of one of these, I think it was a gate agent from one of the airlines, United or something, talking to the tower because people were freaking out. And the gate agent called the tower and said, "Hey, do you guys see this object over C-17?" And then they just immediately ridiculed her. I guess it was around Christmas time. So they're like, "Oh, man, are you hitting the bottle for your Christmas party already?" And they were joking at her. And that's one of the things that just totally, no one took it serious, even on the airport at the time. But then all these guys who were working on the tarmac, guys and women who were working on the tarmac, they saw it. And I remember in one of the radio transmissions later on in the whole story where a guy, some of the, the guys in the tarmac said, "No, we saw it. It's there." They were just like all matter of fact. And yeah, that was a good story. That was the real deal, man. And I don't know, that was another one of the, part of the big cover up where they just squashed it, made fun of it, and then, it kind of disappears into history.
And we all heard about that. That was infamous. Yeah. So just one of those things from there. But
yeah, no, I that's a really good, that's a great event or a great UFO story for history there.
Well, I got another one coming up. And Rob, what do you think? Chicago, I know you heard the story.
Chicago, yeah. They actually have a picture that's floating around that was taken from the cockpit of one of the jumbo jets. So the event definitely happened. It's on picture, and they just covered it up. First, what they actually did was they lied, because a reporter went to the FAA or air traffic control rather, and asked them, and they said, no, we didn't have any employees come to us. No one reported anything to us. Then they had someone FOIA the FAA recording, and then it came out that they actually did know, and they conversed about it. And like Mateo said, they ridiculed the person who actually called it in. So once again, big secret keepers keeping those secrets. As long as they can keep it away from the public, they're happy.
I'm with you on that. All right, so we're gonna go to the next one, and I think this one is pretty prominent, ranking number 39 on the list out of 50, going down, having a lot of UFOs. In fact, they're known for plenty of things, and we'll get into that just now. So let me reveal the great state of Michigan. All right, so the great state of Michigan has a lot of UFO sightings. Welcome, Deborah Lucas. Trucker is here with us as well. Magneticus is here tonight as well. Welcome. Now, the U.S. Air Force pilot, First Lieutenant Felix Eugene Montclair Jr. in 1953 was conducting a air defense intercept over Lake Superior, near Solox Lakes in Michigan, where he and his plane disappeared. I think I told y'all a while back that there was, in MUFON, we had the top 3 states. This was in April that had the most sightings. I think was California, Florida, and Michigan. And they had like 300 and 223 and 178. This was for a month, sightings in 1 month. And I thought that was kind of weird because all of those states are near water. And there's a lot of reports from the Great Lakes of Michigan that people talk about water, UFOs are coming out that water there. So anyway, what was known today as the Ken Rose incident, Montclair was on temporary assignment at the Ken Ross Air Force Base. And Air Defense Command radar found a UFO traveling 500 miles per hour in the airspace. And we always talk about this instantaneously, acceleration that they have and how these things can move. So think about 500 miles an hour. So this guy took off in his F-89C, is what they call it, all-weather jet interceptor, after the craft, but as his radar blimped, connected with the UFO. So in other words, they're saying that here's his plane, it was flying, and then the radar blimp is the UFO, and they connected, boom, and communications went dark, and what assumed to be a crash with no crash retrieval. His plane has never been located, and the U.S. Air Force claimed Montclair crashed into the Royal Canadian Air Force vessel. Y'all believe that a whole nother country is in on that when it comes down to that? And the pilot of that craft, supposed to the craft, is claimed to have not seen nor been aware of the intercepting plane. So the RCAF in multiple instances denied, that's the Royal Canadian Air Force, by the way, denied any incidents in the air on that today. So guys, that's huge. This guy's planes, and reason why I'm focusing on this real quickly for Michigan, and once again, this is the state of Michigan. This is a Army report, and still today in congressional hearings, we have no clue of UAPs or UFOs, but yet we have a whole plane comes connected with a UFO, disappears off the radar completely, case closed. It was and they try to blame it on some other, since Michigan is near Canada, and Canada's like, no, we ain't got nothing to do with that. What do y'all think about that?
More cover up, right, Rob? I mean, just ridiculous. The government doesn't talk about it because it was before 2004, which is, they think everything started then. Come on, that's not true. I mean, and in this case, they never found the plane. I mean, wouldn't you you're not going to tell me that they didn't investigate this. This is just another one of those situations where they say nothing to see here. Everyone go back to your daily lives and not worry about this. So I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
I agree with Mateo. No, I totally agree with you. Like I say, it's they're going to hold back as much information as they can. It will never be a situation where they share the information with us in real time. It'll always be something that we have to FOIA, or we have to hope someone comes out and leaks the information. It's never going to be straight up, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show you, we talk about it, as you said, Mateo, the big secret keepers and how those things getting it. So we haven't came to your state yet. And well, neither one of y'all yet. So we're going to see out of the two of you who's top on the list, since I was the last on the list, Texas. And so you, yeah, okay. That's the guy with the prediction of disclosure in New Year's Eve. So y'all make sure we keep that out. All right, guys, be right back. All right. So the next state I think is real good for you guys to that we're going to get into here is the great cornfields of Nebraska. Now, one of their most well-known UFOs turned into a I think it was a comic book called Aliens, an Alien Encounter. Why do I know that? Because I collected a lot of those and I got it in there in my office. Well, this book illustrated a 1967 eyewitness account from Nebraska, which is the state. This guy, I guess, patrolman Herbert Schreimer, who says he assumes to be a tractor trailer. But anyway, turned out to be a UFO. Okay, so what he saw assumed to be a tractor trailer. Now I don't get it that a tractor trailer is not flying around in the sky. Okay, but anyway, they're saying that, which turned out to be a UFO. And on hypnosis, though, this guy recalled being abducted and shown how the spacecraft worked. Now you can't make this stuff up. This is what happened in this book. Okay, Capture. Look at the title. Capture. We're going to be auctioning, not auctioning. We're just doing a raffle. $5. You see the Cash App down there, or Venmo, but Cash App or Venmo, and it's going to put you into the raffle. $5. This is an autographed copy from Kathleen Martin and Stanton Freeman. Okay. Now here's the deal. In this book, Betty and Barney Hill was when they took him under hypnosis, and the same thing that this guy Schreimer recalled being abducted and shown on the spacecraft. Now, I know a lot of times we hear about these, but they are now. Matt Steve said Nebraska's had nuclear silos, and he's seen them. So yeah, I went to school in University of Kansas, and Nebraska was rumored to have nuclear silos all over the place in that cornfield state. So that was pretty much there. But again, where I'm going with this is we still get a lot of reports of people being abducted and then shown this aircraft. So once again, I'm not really for sure what's the deal with why these extraterrestrials like to brag, so to speak, abduct somebody, want to take you to the spacecraft, bring you back, and now you deemed as nuts. You would think they would give you, like the movie Predator, some type of evidence, like here, that gun that is in the other movie too, Prey and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think, guys? I don't know. So it's kind of one of those deals that, that's the storyline when it comes down to that. So, Mateo, abductions, people being on spacecrafts, they coming back, telling how they've been shown around. There's really no verification of that, but you hear this all the time. What do you think?
Some of these people are very credible, and they have no reason to make this up, right? Yes, abductions, it's all anecdotal, but this can ruin your life if you come out and start talking about this stuff. And these people, I believe them when there's, especially if they've got a lot to lose, and they aren't into this to begin with. So I believe them. Now, those who were brought aboard and were fortunate enough to get the tour as opposed to the examination, good for them. I'd rather be one of the tour people too. And but yeah, it's the numbers can't lie. Not all of these people are crazy. So there's something there.
And same thing, it's one of those deals. In fact, Matt is pointing out right now, look what happened to Bob Lazar when he came out. So they have the history have shown when people come out, they get attacked and everything else. Now, of course, if Bob Lazar was here at the time of this new whistleblowers amendment, oh, what a place it would be today. So let's get down into that. And so I'm pretty cool about that. So the next particular, Mateo, I'm going to bring it in, is Ohio is the place that now the centers, and now here's the good one though. Ohio is associated with Hynek. Okay. Y'all know who that is from Project Blue Book. Now, the Center of UFO Studies was founded by Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Now, he's a professor of astronomy over in Ohio State University who went to become the chairman of astronomy department at Northwestern. Now, as you know, he served during 1950s and 1960 as the I think it was called astronomical consultant to the United States Air Force. And so this is how he got connected with Project Blue Book. And then the task was investigating and explaining the UFO phenomenon or debunking them. But Hynek sought to determine whether it was possible an astronomical explanation for UFOs. Now, he was in 1950s through 1960s. There's going to be a history lesson I'm going to share with y'all one of these days. And it's going to really, really throw some things out there when it comes down to Project Blue Book. But Professor Hynek has been, they got all kind of documentaries when it comes down to this. But Ohio is ranked number 37 per of 100 people, 100,000 people there. And we're talking about 36. So you're talking 3,000 and some probably UFO sightings in the last, from 2001 on up. So they really have a lot there. So Matt says it threatened him to say it was swamp gas. You got that right. Jill says I'm in Toronto, Ontario. Welcome, Jill Hilburn, to the show tonight. Cameron is here with us. Hope is here with us. So welcome. If any of you find value in the show, once again, if you want to support the show, Why the Big Secret, so we can do some phenomenal things, there's plenty of ways down here that's coming across this screen. Number one, hit the like button so we can get about 60 likes tonight as well. And then if you want to support instantly, I'm talking like instant gratification, like bam, right here, this for you, and I'll fill it. You can use Cash App or Venmo, and that's instant. But we're in a minute, we're going to be talking about this book. So, and I'm going to share with you the Truth Seekers and everyone else from there. But all right, so number 37 is Ohio. So hopefully if I reach your state, put it on the board there. Ramon says, remember a couple of years ago, the media was nonstop about multiple lights drones flying over the farms in North Colorado and Nebraska? I don't remember. Tell us about that story. Magnetica said that you get your lunch. No, I'm gonna use that gift card tomorrow. Appreciate it. He sent me a virtual Wendy's gift card. So I thought that was pretty cool. From there as well. And so hang on here. On somebody's calling, so I'm letting them know on my channel. Yeah. So all right. So anyway, so the next particular state, which I have not gotten to everyone yet. So let's see where we are. Number 36. If this is your state, drum roll, please. There we go. So the great state of North Carolina. Okay. Now on January 25th, 2019, Brett Jones. Brett, I don't know you, but anyway, he was outside taking pictures of birds in Greensboro, North Carolina, when he saw a bright light in the sky, a flash of light near a plane flying overhead. So he saw a flash and a plane. and wondering if the mysterious shape was a balloon, he began recording the object until it disappeared about 10 seconds. Okay. The odds of seeing a UFO in that state are quite low because they don't get a lot. But although you wouldn't know it from the stories that stretch back to the 1940s that have touched off a number of conspiracy theories about the government cover-ups and experiences there. So anybody living in North Carolina? So Max Sneed said, if North Carolina is where the underwater bases have been. Oh, okay. So I don't know. That would be a good one to know, Matt, at this point. It's a lot of water around that area, right? So you would think that could be or not. So North Carolina, no, I don't know. Maybe not when it comes down to that as well. So anyway, Rob says, Jay Muhammad, thanks for sharing. Cameron said, can I email you a bunch of pictures that I took a huge fire in Cali that shows two huge UFOs, flying objects from side to the smoke? Cameron, heck yeah, that's what we do, bro. We UFOs investigators. Yeah. Send the photo, send the negative. Well, you won't have no negatives these days, but the email address is contact@whythebigsecret.com. Put a follow-up telephone number in there so I can call back to you and we'll talk about those things as well. Wendy Williams says, I have the United States Air Force, Army, and Marine Corps all surrounding me. The skies in the eastern North Carolinas are busy. JP, howdy. All right. So I know Hope talking about not the negatives. I know that. So, hey, listen, I am 25 times 2 plus 2. And there was times that we used negatives back in the day when I was a little, long time ago, long time ago. And so though I know negatives. I thought about that after it slipped out of my mouth as well. So let's see the next state that we're going to be talking about here to kind of get into this will be the great state, if I will call it the great state, but let's check it out right now. This state has in fact, they have a festival that commemorates UFOs in this particular state. You probably heard of it. It's called the Kelly Little Green Men Festival Days, or Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival. Can you believe that? They have a festival, and it's in the great state of Kentucky. Okay. So Kentucky commemorates this August 25th, well, I guess this happened August 15, 1955, an alien invasion. So each year, the Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival commemorates the August 21st, 1955 alien invasion of a form of Elmer Sutton. Now, I've never heard of this. The ambush allegedly involved a small group of alien creatures descending from the spacecraft outside of the Sutton's farmhouse to the horrors of this family, including 5 adults and 7 children. If anybody heard about this story, put it in the chat. We got to know about that. Kentucky, let me show it again. The great state of Kentucky. Yeah, let me put it up right here. Kentucky had an alien invasion, okay? An alien invasion in Kentucky. So if you're in the chat, anybody know about this story? I don't even know if my guys know about it. A couple of these guys are historian. I'm going to put them on the spot. Let's find out. It is you, Bob. You ever heard of that? I haven't. And Kentucky, an alien invasion in 1955.
Look, not much about Kentucky, no.
You look like the commercial when the mom asked the kids to take out the trash.
You got me on Kentucky, man. Not much to give you there. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, Kentucky ranks number 34. We still haven't got to your state. We ain't going to call it out. Nicole said, I have not heard about that one either. Jill said, I didn't see them with my eye. Oh, they have a story. So I'll go back and read Sun Saver story here in just a few minutes. In fact, I'm going to put it up on the screen, Rob, for us real quick. Sun Saver has a story. Boom. Okay. Says, I saw a large gray unmarked military-style aircraft flying very low with a tic-tac shaped object falling right on its tail. I could not see the tow cable to the propane tank and had no camera. What do you think about that, Rob?
I believe it. Let me see the photo. I'll take your word for it until proven otherwise. Why not?
Yeah, but Sun Saber said he saw a unmarked military style aircraft flying low with a tic tac shaped object falling right on his tail. So the plane and then the tic tac is like, hey man, we're on a journey. So could that, Sun Saber, if you saying, could that have been a military? Now, Greg said he's heard of it. So if he's talking about the Kentucky, let me know, Greg Harris. I don't know. So, but he said I couldn't see a tow cable to the propane tank is what he's calling it. So, all right. All right, Rob, I'll put you on the spot for Kentucky. We coming to your state.
You did.
We coming to, that's all right. I got one from Mateo. We're gonna get him in there in a little bit. So let's go to the next state. In this particular state, I think a lot of people probably be familiar with this, Rob. And let me see about some of the data for this state. It is the great state of Oklahoma. Now, there was a video of UFOs overhead in Oklahoma State Fair. Okay, so this was something that a lot of people talked about in the state fair. This was in 2017. So if you live in Oklahoma, there was a video of UFO surface in State Fair, Oklahoma, caused quite a stir, but turned out to be skydivers. How could you mistaken skydivers for aliens or UFOs? And it said, if you want to be sure of an encounter, stop in and see the alien art there. I don't get that one, everyone. How could a crowd of people be said to have mistaken a group of UFOs flying over the state fair and turn out to be skydivers who can't fly? They can't fly. They had to have come to the ground. But maybe I don't understand genetics, or not genetics, but the state of gravity. I'm going to say genetics too, because they ain't born to fly. Let me just correct myself if it sounds crazy. But what I'm saying is it was crazy. All right. I know I'm funny. So, but what I'm saying is a group of people claim to, so I don't know if the group of people, if it's been covered up, or is it just the fact that all of them was drinking? But there is no way a UFO would be mistaken, a bunch of UFOs mistaken for a bunch of skydivers. I don't think. Magnetica says unidentified falling objects. I know, right? Sun Saver said my video of the other was daytime sighting, and this is not the planet Venus. Okay. Matt C said Oklahoma is not okay. Laugh out loud. So yeah, Terry says Kelly, Kentucky, 1955, April, craft landed, 12 to 15 occupants seen. See, we got a lot of history of this stuff, a lot of history of UFOs in all of these states. And that's something that I tell people all the time, because it's like, all right, you know, go back. This stuff has been happening a very long time. So we're halfway down. We're at number 32 from 50 on down. Texas was the last state on the list of having the least UFOs, and I'm in the state of Texas, at Jumbo State. This here is a story of Betty Andreessen, and she was home with her family, and this was in South, I'm not going to say it yet. But anyway, in January of 1967, when she claimed gray aliens with a oval-shaped head like the one behind me, enormous eyes like the one behind me, probably, slipped into a trance and abducted her. And how did we mention Missouri, y'all? No, I don't think we went there yet. So, and maybe not. Okay, so she says, and so she says she was abducted. She says she was aboard of craft. Once again, here we go. Somebody else owned the spacecraft. Either that, these aliens got jokes. They got to have jokes. Okay, so Andreessen says that she was examined. Okay, we got this in this story, so maybe that verifies what happened to Betty and Barney Hill, and that the aliens disclosed to her the meaning of life, immediately erased her memory. So hold on a minute. So the aliens will tell this person something great, and then turn around and wipe it out. All right. And all in which she recalled while under hypnosis. Her experiences was documented in Raymond Fowler's book, The Andreessen Affair. 2 years later, on September the 1st, 1969, the 9-year-old Tom Reed claimed to have been abducted by aliens from the car he was driving. Well, I don't know. Okay, maybe I read that wrong, but September 1969, this guy got to be like older than 9 years old. You know, a car he was driving with his brother, mother, and grandmother. Okay, well, he was probably 9 years old. He said over a bridge in Sheffield, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all the state that this was happening in. So there would be no. Here we go. This great state of Massachusetts. All right. So again, Massachusetts, 1967, when she claimed that gray aliens, these ones above me here, slipped her into a trance and abducted her. I'm gonna bring the crew, both of them, back in for this one. This is getting a little weird. All right, so we got these abduction stories. We're going over in every state, but they all seem to be similar to the story of Betty and Barney Hill, where they were abducted, put into a trance, memory wiped, but to come back and put them under hypnosis. So for both of you, why? The question is why? Why would the extraterrestrials take the time to abduct people, tell them I want to share with you the things about life, then wipe their memory out so when they go back to Earth, they don't share what they learned or remember what they know? What kind of deal is that? Any one of y'all? I know I'm not saying y'all know the answers. I just want to know what you think about it.
Mr. Mateo, what do you think about that?
I'll go first because I'm a native of Massachusetts. That's the state in which I was born, even though I don't live there now. No,
okay,
no.
gotcha.
But so I'll represent in their behalf. Grew up in Connecticut though, so don't worry, Hope. But I was born across the border, and then they kicked me out, so I had to go.
So when did you leave Massachusetts?
1995.
They're saying that the Great Barrington Historical Society in 2015 officially recognized that account as a historic event. So now they're seeing some truth in that.
For the abduction. Yeah. Well, I mean, to your question, wiping memories, I mean, I would think I'm not an alien abducting people, but I think that's been common, right? It's been the routine of what I do. So regardless of whether it's a positive experience, the abduction, or a negative experience, I think often people will claim that they don't remember. It's lost time. And then under hypnosis, they can recall it. Some recall the good parts, some recall the bad parts. It all depends on the experience. So I believe that. I mean, once again, it's all part of the big cover-up that I think even the ETs are involved in. They don't want to be disclosed or found out, just as much as the government doesn't want them disclosed or found out. Otherwise, that kind of ruins their position is and their plan, which none of us know what it is. But if they were just here to hang out and say hi and share everything they knew, they would have done that a long time ago. No, they have an agenda, and that agenda is going to be compromised if people come back remembering crystal clear things about their abduction experience.
Yeah, but why would they want that? Now, Mickey says she grew up in Massachusetts, but that story is so crazy. So have you heard about that story, Mickey, is what you're saying, which is now a historical event in the state of Massachusetts? All thing I've heard of Massachusetts when you see the police pull people over and they got that accent.
I didn't know of any other events in
Massachusetts. Y'all just hear that noise? That was loud. Did y'all hear that?
I heard something.
Oh, I wonder if it's thunderstorm in here in Texas. I think I'm gonna have to go. Let me shut this live stream down. Dude, I mean, either that or I don't woke up some aliens or something. But anyway, Mickey said, yeah, she heard about it. Okay, all right. And let any of you know in the audience, if you want to contribute to the story, you got a webcam camera and you want to come in with us, let me know. Hit me in the chat, send you a link, come on up with us and everything else. So Rob, they're abducting people, they're wiping their mind. Why in the hell go through all that? Just don't take them.
I'm still on the fence I'm still like sifting through the whole abduction part of it, of the phenomena, only because I am unsure if they're physically being abducted or if their conscience is being abducted. So I'm on the fence. I know I heard of a story, I can't recall the state, but there was a story where back east, a person was abducted by UFO, and the police officer, I guess it was outside somewhere, happened to be sitting in his patrol car, claimed to see 3 ETs in the body, like go through the wall of the building. They were up on like the 4th, 5th floor or something like that. And he claimed, he validated that he saw that happen. So, but I'm just still on the fence on if this is a physical thing or if it's just consciousness. So, I mean, it depending on what that answer is, can change the answer to the question.
Okay, we're gonna go with that. We'll go with that. That's Super Rob there, y'all, with the philosophy of the day and the prediction of the year. We're gonna stay on top of him.
Rob speaks the truth.
Nothing but the truth. All right. So, all right, guys, hang on a little bit. We're gonna get back into the next state. Now, this one supposedly veteran World War II B-25 fighter pilot George Gorman, no relation to George Foreman and the Grills, had a 27-minute sky encounter with a white ball of fire of light over Fargo. Okay, now I gave you halfway so you know where this is. But anyway, this is on October the 1st, 1948, known as the Gorman dogfight. Okay, he saw what was described as a flying disc with clear edges, many bright lights. Okay, so we're good with that. And he pursued it for a better part of a half an hour. Now, see, I don't buy that a little bit, but that's okay. That's the story, because we know they can't keep up with these things. Now, here's why. George attempted to make contact with the craft, which dodged Gorman's advances at speed in excess of 600 miles an hour, okay, per hour, right? And his story was verified by two air controllers, traffic controllers, and another pilot flying into Fargo that night. So 600 miles an hour, and he's chasing a UFO for half an hour. They probably were just toying with this dude. They had to be. And so where was this place? I'm glad you asked. So let's kind of bring it up to where it was. Let me see if I can bring it up right now for you. The great state of North Dakota. This is where this was. So that's crazy. Gorman attempted to make contact with the craft, which dodged his advances at speeds of excess of 600 miles per hour. Now, again, his story was verified by those two air traffic controllers and another pilot flying into Fargo. So this is Fargo, North Dakota, October the 1st, 1948. You know, it's obvious that these things has been going around a very long time. And so that's something that I want to do. So we're at the top of the hour and we're on number 31. We got about 25 more to go, and we'll get that done really quickly. And maybe your state pops up to be number one, where the most sightings is from everybody else. And so in the meantime, I'm going to thank the truth seekers and everyone else who support the show. And we're going to do that, and it'll happen for you really quick. And so let me kind of just bring that in. And we have a Truth Seeker theme song. If you want to be part of that and you want to, help the Truth Seekers, our membership, become members, you can be able to do that, support the show as well. And we'll definitely do that. So, but anyway, let me show you who's all supporting the show, who's our people as part of our producers and executive producers and everyone else, and the song that is made for them in these next 15 seconds here for you. Here you go.
Let me ask you a question. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. It's time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts. They're covering all the tracks, but we're not backing down. It's our time, stay on the grind. Why the big secret's about to blow your mind?
All right, so that is homage to our truth seekers and the people that support the show. If you want to be part of that, you definitely could. Again, if you want to support the show instantly, you can do that through Cash App or any other places. Super chats and all of those things is very, very great for us, and as well as those people who are part of our memberships that are supporting our show there too. So I want to thank each and every one of you for there. If you have a business and you want to support the show or sponsor or give a shout out to your internet business, your home-based business, whatever it is, and we can talk about it, definitely hit me at contact@whythebigsecret.com. That's the email address there on the screen, and we can bring you into the journey as well. So we're definitely going to be able to do that, and we can do so. Again, we just talked about that great state of Gorman, and again, we will get to that in just a minute, and so we'll get to it in a minute. But in the meantime, our doorbell has rang, and we have someone else at the door. So let me see if I can answer the door, and or I can say you can keep it knocking, but you can't come in. That is a song, though. That is a song. We're not going to do that. So, Nicole, what's going on?
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm cracking up over here.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. Well, get some glue, put yourself back together like Humpty Dumpty, and then we will all laugh again and do the things that we do. So glad you're here with us. Hang around a little bit. We'll get you back. Now, we didn't cover your state in here yet, have we?
Virginia?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I think they're on the list. I mean, I can scroll and find out if I got you on. We'll see. We got a few more states to go. So Virginia's there. All right, we'll hang around. Let me let the guy say hello to you. So, and so we can all say, there you go.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Glad to have you. Glad to see you.
For you.
I know.
Right.
I had to get everything set up after I put my kids to bed. So
Hey,
don't talk to them.
Well,
what are you doing? You're on camera, Mom? Let me get in there with you.
Oh, my oldest son would totally be down here if he knew that I was on camera.
He'd be like, what's up on Why the Big Secret? So
yeah, he'd be all in the background.
Well, my goal is to talk about the next state, y'all. And so again, there are things that are I would say happening in this particular state, and y'all might know about it or know anybody in it. But anyway, they got a big old event. It was a deputy. And so let me reveal the state, and then I'll get into the conversation. So here we go. So this state is the great state of Minnesota. So this is where Deputy Johnson awoke 40 minutes after his squad car, had been swallowed into a ball of light. Sometime around midnight. This is August the 27th, 1979. So I would have been, younger than 10 years old at that time. But he had a wristwatch and the car's clock, and both meticulously set and had stopped a full 14 minutes. So, okay, loss of time probably. And he was 1,000 feet from where the incident occurred. So now he not only had loss of time, but he was someone else. And so again, see, we get this stuff a lot. And this is what challenged me when you hear this. And remember, they are reporting this now from some of the congressional hearing things, that loss of time, which we saw that with Dr. Nolan in his conversation. But anyway, 100 feet of skid marks was scarred on the highway. And so sound like, again, he could have been drunk. But anyway, cracks through the vehicle's windshield, according to an expert from Ford Motor Company, appeared to have been caused by simultaneously inward and outward forces. Now, I don't know, Tech, your engineer, I'm not going to put you on the spot if you know what that is. No, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, Ford Motor Company says appears to have been caused by simultaneously inward and outward forces. What could have caused? And Johnson also suffered welder burns and had a scorched retinas upon medical inspection. So, but anyway, real quickly, a metal expert brought to examine the car found that antennas could only be explained as having been deformed by a powerful burst of air, and the car could still be viewed at the Settler Square Historical Museum. So people are putting these stuff in the museum. So what do you think about that? I mean, you know, that story. That was the sheriff's deputy, so maybe it's credible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the details, but you know, when a car, the structure of the car gets deformed like that, that could be from, well, if it was from wind, you would think the whole car would move, right? So I still hang my hat on the whole electromagnetic disturbance. Electromagnetic waves get absorbed by metal and can move the metal, right? This is how motors work. Hello, right? So if you get a big enough burst, you're going to take flat sheets of metal and deform them. So I'm surprised the guy survived if that was the case, but that could be part of it. I mean, it could be a mix of things. So obviously something happened, and obviously he wouldn't have done that to himself. So who knows? But I don't know of any other cases that correspond like that, though, as far as, you know, the metal getting moved in and out. And
Well,
all that stuff.
okay. Well, we have a loss of time. Let me get someone else in here with us. Let me get Nicole and ask her about this loss of time. Nicole, I know you have a lot of things about UFOs. You study it. What do you think about some of these stories? We're hearing it over and over. Once again, we got loss of time. We got, you know, these aliens taking people up on the aircraft, showing them the aircraft, telling them life-changing information, and then wipe their memory. And so they can't use it anyway. But anyway, in this particular part, again, this deputy says he had loss of time, 14 minutes. What do you think about loss of time?
Loss of time is very common in the UFO abduction or UFO experiencers cases. You always hear about them talking about loss of time, or even people who have just seen a UFO and they realize that, you know, what they thought was standing out there for 10-15 minutes end up being like 2 or 3 hours when they look at their clock. So it sounds along the lines of, you know, what you would typically expect. So it doesn't seem like a strange aspect of the story when it comes to abductions.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny though, because you're thinking, and this is me doing by the big secret. So when this guy claims to have been taken and then have a loss of time, it's almost like they are taken to another dimension where the watch doesn't work on the elements that Earth has, right? Or the, you know, from the compasses, whatever we use is, so it just stops because wherever it is doesn't have the, you know, where it's going to connect to for what happens on Earth, you know. I thought that was kind of strange to think about that, which could be proof or further proof that they're taking them somewhere else in some other galaxy or place or dimension, someone else in there. So I don't know. That's kind of one of those things, but we haven't got to your state yet. Actually, I think you did tell us where you were, so we'll find out in a minute. We'll get there. So hang around. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll talk. Yeah. So loss of time. All right. I got I lost time too because I don't have my watch, and I don't know what I did with. I'm still got to find it. So I lost time. I truly have, and I'm not making fun of anybody if you lost some time. Let me look in the chat real quick. Bogan says news story, flares and balloons. It was not weather balloons, whatever story they were talking about. A bunch of people pulled over and there was the news about it. I'm bagging back up. He's saying about some orbs and other things. I don't know what JJ is. We need to reach out and see what's going on with him and see what's going on. So now this here particular story I'm going to get into next is one of the most famous accounts of alien life in this particular state that never actually happened. Interesting. In the openings of Robert Handler's 1951 novel, The Puppet Masters, the government agents investigated an alien ship outside of this particular place. So I don't know if anybody heard of it, but it counts as a UFO encounter, but they're just saying that it never happened. But they get a lot of UFOs, though. So this is why they're on the list, and we're not going to spend a lot of time for this state. If you lived in it, the great state of our, that's it. That's all we got to say. Bro, did you eat a porcupine? I don't know what he mean by that. So I didn't eat a porcupine, asteroid. So if you got an explanation about a porcupine and whatever your intentions is, make them, state them, flat them out in the chat so that we could chat it up from there. So we'll see. And hopefully it's just a joke. It's all it is. Now I know about this state, so we're going to talk about this here pretty much. This was about a Boeing B-47 Stratojet, was highly advanced at this time, okay? And the long-range 6-engine bomber was introduced in 1951 to fly extremely high. So this is one of those old technologies that they have, and which is why it was so odd. So in 1957, the Air Force, which had this RB-47, was followed 700 miles, okay, by an unidentified craft over this particular place and on through Missouri and Texas. But it originated in this particular state, and they said 6 years later, the radar of another RB-47 captured a blip that followed by a bright blue light that was collaborated by pilot and crew. So this is something that's pretty weird when it gets down to it. But the state that this happened in is in the great state of Kansas. Go Jayhawks, because I went to college there. I went to University of Kansas for a little while there. And so, and Cameron, I did get your link in, and we'll check out those photos for you shortly as well. So anyway, in Kansas, there you go. So Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore, but again, obviously we have aircraft 700 miles from Kansas. And if y'all really catching on to this, a lot of this stuff is happening in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, which at a time was a lot. And I think at this point we have to really kind of figure out what is going on when they're still claiming that we don't know anything about all these UFOs back in. But we're now at number 27. Now, this particular place in October 1973, October the 9th, the first responder switchboards were overwhelmed by nearly 700 calls to a UFO sighting. And this included blinking lights near the ground, a UFO spotted on a telescope by astronomy students, and even radar operators as Fort Wayne Airfield having irregular activity show up on the screen. So 700 people spotted this UFO, okay? And the most commonly reported traits of the UFO sighting, especially in this particular state today, is multicolored in white lights, orange fireballs, as well as balls of lights, disc spotted during daylight hours, triangular shapes, documented after dark. And this is according to MUFON, okay, which is the organization I work with. So imagine in this particular state, we're talking multicolored, white lights, orange fireballs, balls of lights, and disc. All of these things are being reported, which is accustomed to this great state. And maybe it's because they probably had a, I don't know, good old basketball team back in the day or something. I don't know. Anyway, so just give you who it was. It was the great state of Indiana, the Hoosiers, who it is. So I'll just call that out without even giving the state up from there, and pretty much. So now I think we're getting somewhere. The next state, number 26, in this here, they says this particular state counts for many believers among them, and hundreds of folks come forward with white tales of holograms, abductions, spacecraft lights in the sky, everything between. Over the years, they're saying many UFO sightings have been debunked, though. Did y'all hear that lightning? It is raining outside, including two 2018 incidents of a butterfly mistaken for alien craft. A butterfly. That's some crazy people in this state that's doing it. So I'm going to bring it up and let me see if I have them. And if you live in this state and they're saying that, I don't know, butterflies, how do you mistaken a butterfly for alien craft? And this is in this state. Now, I think, Mateo, we got you now. There you go. Crazy Floridian folks. You know what I'm saying? Some crazy he don't know he on camera, y'all. And
look, I know.
look, you just did what you had.
I'm shaking my head like, oh boy, butterflies.
Butterflies in 2018. Butterflies mistaken for an alien aircraft. That's a lot of stuff. I don't
know how they manage that, but hey, stranger things have happened in Florida. We all know. No, the best case that Florida is has a very famous case. I don't know. Do you remember which one it is?
No.
Very famous. MUFON was involved too in this one. The Gulf Breeze incident from late 1987 to mid 1988. Very famous. Okay. In fact, the whole Panhandle, Gulf Breeze is right next to Pensacola in the Panhandle. The Panhandle is considered a hotspot because of that incident. Now, once again, it's got aspects of butterflies in it, unfortunately, because the whole Gulf, this was late 1987. It's like a 6 month after that. There was the butterfly aspect was this. There was one guy who his name was Ed Walters, and I was just reading. I couldn't remember his name, but I remember the story. And all of the ufologists, like Bud Hopkins and a few of the other guys, interviewed this guy. He was producing these unbelievable pictures. Well, make a long story short, after all, and MUFON was investigating, there were tons of sightings, but the guy who had the camera was this guy named Ed Walters. The guy moved out of his house in 1990, and the new owners found a fake UFO, styrofoam UFO model in the attic that he had supposedly been using to take all these photos. So he was hoaxing, but all of the hundreds and hundreds of other people who had started to see stuff, it could have been follow on from that, but MUFON investigated it and said a lot of it was legit. So that is probably Florida's biggest claim to fame. MUFON had conferences there. They still do conferences there. It's kind of like a mini Roswell where they have like festivals and stuff like that. But yeah, what's up?
Butterflies.
Mistaken. All right. I'm trying to skip over that part. All right.
Are them people high? Or I mean, you're talking butterflies. Turtle.
I
don't know. Maybe I'm not the only one. Let me see if anybody else want to get in on that one.
Yeah. Brownlee says people in Florida are absolutely crazy. I don't disagree.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Florida's temperament to be a little off. So
there you
go.
They
have that reputation. Been out in the sun too long. That's what they say.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
All right. So Rob, butterfly.
Butterflies.
Butterflies mistake as UFOs.
Butterflies. That's all I have to say. Butterflies.
It's coming from a man with a monkey on his mic, y'all. So you remember
that guy.
What do you have a name for that thing?
No, I'm gonna let my truth seekers name that guy right there. He's my good luck guy.
All right. Butterflies in Florida. I mean, that's about as weird as it gets. Okay, so this next particular state, y'all, is 2,400 person town. Okay, it's a small town, and it holds an annual UFO day to memorialize multiple January 1987 sightings, including a documented reports by the local police force of strange lights in the sky just out of town. 3 hours from the site in Poland, and I'm not going to tell y'all the state yet, but this guy constructed a self-described UFO landing port atop of a 14-yard full fuel tank standing vertically on property of Towhawk and Sun Welding. I mean, where I'm concerned with this, and not so much concerned, all of these states got a freaking UFO day, and I ain't heard a lot of this stuff. But yet we still got Congress and everybody joking around saying none of this stuff exists. And so let me let everybody know where it is. Y'all hang right here. It's in the great state of Wisconsin. If anybody y'all live in Wisconsin, that's where it is. And that's by the water. But what do y'all think about that? I mean, the guy made his own, constructed a self-described UFO landing port atop of a 14-yard fuel tank, of course. But again, this is in Wisconsin and a small town. So I think they was trying to hop in on the Area 51 thing, trying to create some kind of economic ecosystem or tourist attraction. It's a small town. Why wouldn't they come up with an idea like that? What do y'all think? Nobody.
Sounds plausible. Did he get any visitors? Did anybody land? I'm curious now. It sounds like a scene out of Close Encounters. Set it up, build the field and they will come, right, Rob? So,
or a money grab. I don't know which one. Which one do you want to go with? Maybe a money grab.
It's gonna be
I think so.
Mm-hmm. So, all right,
attention.
All right, yeah. I mean, because you think about it, they don't have nothing else to do. So in this town of 2,400 people. And this is Belleville, Wisconsin. I'm sorry, cheese with Green Bay stuff. If that's nearby, I don't know. But they hold their own annual UFO day. Okay, and this is from the multiple sightings from 1987. Okay, now of course they got police reports, so that's supposed to bring this down. But for this guy to go out of his way to start trying to make a landing port, on top of this fuel tank, yeah, it's a money grab. It's a total money grab. Okay, so I think we finally came home to one of you, and you're ranked number 24, and you probably know what it is, and it is the great state of California. And it's no surprise, this state got a lot of UFO sightings and is home to the annual Contact in the Desert. Yep, the world's largest UFO conference. They handle this every year, so a lot of you know about that one. This event generally features speakers, panel discussions, lots of opportunity for stargazing. If you want to go to the next one, steady stream of believers ready to share their experiences. And if you go to a lot of their websites, so this happens a lot, many of these people say they capture things on camera. So California, you get the floor. Represent your place.
I will. It's the West Coast, the state that the UFOs love the most. No, I'm really playing with you.
Yeah,
but we have a lot of cases here, though. Ronald Reagan, when he was governor of California, I think it was back in '74. He was in a Cessna flying over not too far from where I'm located right now, and actually observed a UFO. And he's always said that.
Let us try to guess. Let everybody guess where he is right now, because he might just tell us. So, where are you
at? What region of California?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Southern California, about an hour north of Los Angeles. I don't know if I should say the city, but it's a town not too far.
That's all right. That's
not
okay.
too far from Los Angeles.
Don't tell us.
Let me go down the list. So you have Ronald Reagan. You have obviously Catalina Island and everything that's going on over there. You have Battle of Los Angeles. Who could forget about that? So back 1942, I want to say like 3 months after World War II started, the whole nation was on high alert. Pearl Harbor had just been bombed a few months back, and everybody was scared that the attack was going to come to the mainland, and alarms sounded, and they thought it was a Japanese plane in the air, but turned out to be a UAP. It's in the newspapers. They had pictures of it. They shot, I want to say, 1,400 rounds at this thing. Didn't affect it at all. One of the most famous cases, aside from Roswell, over Roswell, number one sighting in the United States, period.
Okay. All right. So, all right, he represented his town. Mickey said she got to go. Good night. Oh, she has an early morning.
Good night, Mickey.
Good night, Mickey. We'll say that. Let me let the crew wish you good night there. Y'all want to wish Mickey good night?
Good night.
Thanks, Mickey.
Sleep tight.
Yep. And Jay Muhammad said we should have a Why the Big Secret retreat in Cali, and that will be the biggest secret that we will ever have, because nobody will show up because it's a secret. So how will we do that?
I want to go for it, Rob. Sorry.
I'll host it. Yeah, say I'll host it. Just get at me. I'm here.
So
nice.
Kurt said my audio has been clipping. Is that true? It's been happening.
I hear a little clicking.
I heard a pop or two.
Let
me chime in here really for in Rob's behalf. For the other statistics, although California may be number 24 on the list for sightings per 100,000, California is number one as far as total sightings. And guess who number 2 is?
Texas.
Nope. You're number 4. Florida's number 2. So Cali's 1, Florida's 2. Texas is 4. So this is total sightings, and like within the past year or so.
Why did that set up? Like that was a setup, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to,
West Coast is the best coast.
I'm supporting Rob, but I want to get our state in. Nicole, where
I don't know where Virginia lies there, Nicole. So I didn't look.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm actually shocked it's not lower on the list.
You're going to be the highest on the sightings per 100,000.
Where your state again, Nicole?
Virginia.
I don't even think y'all made the list.
We haven't brought her up yet. She's the top dog because we've already done Texas, California, and Florida, and now we got all the corners of the U.S. kind of covered here. And Nicole's
like there is no sugar honey iced tea going on there at all. None.
I also saw that Washington State is like up there. I saw an article like recently that they said Washington State is like the new UFO hotspot.
All right.
Yeah.
Where it all started, right? Mount Rainier.
Magnetica says my sound like it's peaking. I'm telling you, I got a bad storm going on outside. So man,
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that like myself. I'm moving this thing, but I'm telling you, if y'all see lights and everything go out, stream is over. I'm out of here. I'm telling you,
no outro music,
no outro, no nothing. So I'm gonna speed this thing up because I'm gonna get it. Well, it don't matter. It's raining in Texas, so it'll rain where I'm going and stuff. So anyway, so this next place is, man, I see lightning too. Y'all hear that? Y'all don't hear all that, but that's okay. All right. So Delaware ranks real low. You know, well, they rank pretty good on how many UFO it gets, but when it falls short on the documentation, it makes up for its imagination, is what they're saying here in Delaware. So the state is home to 2 prefab UFO-shaped structures created in the 60s by a Finnish architect who thought the design could provide a solution to the housing shortage on Earth. Freaking kidding me. And so this guy wanted to design it. So many UFO sightings in Delaware Center of odd light formations, shapes in the skies. And in February 2019, possible spacecraft with multicolored lights being pushed out of the airspace. It's doing it again. It's doing it again. It's lightning. I'm not afraid of no lightning, but I'm telling you, it is real out there. And then there's too many stories, like War of the Worlds. You know, when the UFOs came out through the lightning strikes. Y'all remember that? And so I don't know. I'm gonna speed this little story up because, and I might skip a few states, and we'll see here because I want to. Oh, we got a West Virginia. Didn't you say West Virginia? You didn't say. Let me say. What did you say now? Hang on. Let me unmute your mic here. Somehow it's getting muted there. Say that again.
Virginia, not West Virginia.
That's not the same place?
No.
Really? I mean, we got a West Oak Cliff, Alpha Cliff here in Dallas. I mean,
no, it's 2 different states.
I knew that. funny. It was on my 6th grade test, and I flunked. I'm sorry, but West Virginia, you're not. I'm scrolling, and I don't see nowhere on the list. Like nothing happens there. Do y'all see any UFOs at all?
Virginia disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going number 2, and then whoa, maybe y'all number 1, but you're not. So I ain't gonna get you.
I was gonna say, whoa.
No, you're not number 1. So I'm gonna do the top 5. We're gonna skip down to the top 5 because we'll be ending here in a few minutes. And then we're gonna have an open talk with all us just a few seconds here. But West Virginia is not on the list at all. Actually, Rob, check that list. You have it. And see is West Virginia is anywhere to be found on that list. Was it?
Oh, the state of Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, she calling the state of Virginia, just Virginia.
Oh,
yeah.
State of Virginia. Okay, I know I'm gonna get bragged now. They be like, Rod, you don't even know where I don't know where West Virginia or Virginia is. So is there a beach?
Virginia is north. Yes, there's beaches in Virginia.
Oh.
Virginia is north, in between North Carolina and Maryland.
Well, I left you off the list. And not on purpose though. I just didn't find nothing happening. It was nothing happening there, and so
probably not much.
Well,
we do have a lot of military bases.
Okay. All right.
I see a lot of their craft,
no.
but no UFOs.
All right. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do the top 5.
Hey, home of the big secret keepers.
I know, right? So I'm gonna do the top 5, and then I'll bring all of y'all back. We're gonna have a little quick panel for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna get everybody out of here. Fair enough?
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm gonna do the top 5 that's left in this list. So we skipped a few people. So at this point, you may feel lucky. You might not want to know where all the UFOs are in your place. So we're gonna go to number 5 is Oregon. And this is at McMinnville. I actually did a video on my channel. Go check it out here. And it was a short story about that and the guy and his wife. And so the Trent photos. And actually it was supposed to be one of the beginning of some of the best photos in 1950. I know the story well enough because, like I said, if you go down to the YouTube channel, I did like a 3-minute, 2-minute video. It's pretty cool. Check it out. But it was about flying saucers. It was shot by his wife, Elvin, and Paul Trent over their farm outside of McMinnville, Oregon. Great story. These pictures made it into Life magazine, and it caused a national stir. And they still celebrate this today. And again, we're going to talk about that. Let me put that down on our panel list just real quick. Town celebrations, because I think that's kind of weird that you get all these celebrations, but yet we still claiming we don't know much about anything. The next particular state here is Vermont, and they're among the famous UFO stories. The Buff Ledge abduction, which is on August the 7th, 1868. 4 UFOs appeared over Lake Champlain and allegedly abducted 2 camp counselors in Vermont. And the lights from the encounters were reported by multiple witnesses. David Pilates, this was done by Sonia. She sent me this information. He talks about a lot of abductions in these national forests and camps areas and all of this stuff. So once again, this is 1968. And we still have all of these things that people are denying what's going on. And it comes back to, this stuff has been happening a lot. And Richard Dolan actually did a YouTube video that was sent to me, I think, by the crew. And he had some huge statistics, which comes down about all these UFOs and how many abductions is really happening. A lot of abductions that's really happening. And so that is something weird when it comes down to that. And that was a great video. And let you know, we're going to actually have with Richard Dolan on one of the shows pretty soon too. So we're talking about a time right as we speak. This next one is number 3 on the list itself. And in this particular place is a cool place. let's go with it. Nope. Let me show you right now. And it is Alaska. Okay. Alaska's on the list. And of course, they got a lot of stores there. So we're talking about in March 2019, there was an identified glowing object apparently falling from the Anchorage, Alaska sky. And then there was another Anchorage resident captured photos of the same mysterious object, which the spokeswoman from Joint Base over there in Richardson said it did not resemble any aircraft from their base. So we're talking about Alaska, out of all places, and everything else. So this is happening. The next state, and I don't even know how these people get any type of UFO stuff going on there, is Montana. And this came from a minor league baseball team manager, Nick Marina, in 1950. Captured 2 silver craft spinning in the midair over the Great Falls of Montana on his 16 millimeter camera. So that's that big noisy thing. And so anyway, there was a governmental panel that was gathered in 1953. Once again, the big secret keepers denying that UFOs and stuff don't really exist. And here they had a whole panel in 1953, reviewed the footage and the Air Force and UFO data in the second short film of the sighting in Utah. The panel concluded in the reports that the Marina's images was a result of sunlight reflecting off the Air Force interceptors, and that the Utah footage showed light glitting of seagulls in the flight. Man, this just tell you these big secret keepers has been at this a very long time. Jill says, Roderick, where can I send my video? Contact at whythebigSecret.com. Alex says something wrong with your XLR. It's like it keeps power surging, a tad annoying. The audio is bad, but just to let you know. The audio side, not too bad, but just, I don't know. We have an electrical storm outside right now. I'm sure y'all been hearing it, and I know that is the primary cause. So, because my lights are flickering every now and then, so it could be a whole power surge thing working in here. So, Montana is number 2, and number 1. Let me see here. Just let you know, this is the home of the first evidence of UFOs. No stranger close encounters to the third kind. This happened on June 21st, 1947. This guy named Harold Dahl reported to the authorities that his son had been injured and his dog killed. Y'all hear me? By flying debris from 4 to 6 circular objects in what became known as the Maury Islands incident. Okay. A witness also apparently threatened by the characters wearing all black. Okay. Which became the inspiration of the popular Men in Black, the movie's decade later. And this happens out of all places. Where would they be wearing the most suits anyway? Washington. Okay. So there we go. Washington ranks there, and it's kind of weird, but there we go. So what do y'all think about that? There we go. We got all the top places. Let me kind of get this banner out of our way for you. Men in Black, the Washington story. What do y'all think about that?
Nicole called it.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't really surprise me because Washington is right by the water. There's a lot of very dense forestry there, and also Mount Rainier. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're up there on the list.
Don't forget Kenneth Arnold, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Kenneth Arnold was what started it all off.
The whole
Rainier in 1947, and so it's
the whole term
place.
Flying saucer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're saying that there was more witnesses to this event, and
the Maury Island incident you're talking about in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one. Go ahead, Rob. But that's a famous story too, because there was some aftermath to that too, which did involve men in black in the military.
And we may get into that on another show. Actually,
Yeah,
it's probably good to talk about. That's a
it
good
is.
one.
Yeah,
I thought the good part about that was the fact that he said that he saw like this liquid metal coming. One of the 6 flying saucers was supposedly in trouble or having problems, and it spewed like this liquid metal out,
I
and
heard
that's what
that.
killed his dog. The dog was in the boat and with
Mm-hmm.
his son, and the dog got killed because of this liquid metal or whatever it was coming out. And then this other UFOs came around the one that was having problems. Problem went away, and then they all flew off. And then later, I thought this was interesting. Later, they had some of that metal, and the Air Force came and got
and
it.
the pilots got killed
Mhm.
trying to take it back or
Yes,
whatever.
the plane crashed. It was a B-25. Came there, 2 guys picked up the debris, flew it back to Southern California somewhere, maybe we're near Rob. They never made it. The B-25 crashed and all that. So yeah, very, very weird sighting. Very famous.
Wow. Kurt, I live in Dallas, Texas. He's asking where do I live? Dallas, Texas is the place. What's going on, Steph? You're here with us tonight. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it's the end of the witness was apparently threatened by the characters wearing all black. But yeah, because that story, there was a lot more than that, just a little debris, because it went into the water, and I thought they all came out, didn't they? Or were they rescuing the ship that went under or something? The other alien crafts?
No, the crafts didn't go in the water as far as I remember. There was this one craft having problems flying, and then it eventually resolved its issue after it dumped all this metal, and then they left, and all was left was the boat and the aftermath.
Well, we officially now have hit 3,800 and let's see, 800 and man, since the show started, we're on grew about 30 subscribers. Let's go back. The tally is 3,807. So we may hit the 4,000 range, y'all, before the weekend or before the week is up. Woo-hoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
welcome aboard,
Nice.
guys. Thank you very much for the support.
Hey.
That's right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, I want everybody to meet part of the team behind the crew. You got Nicole there. You got Rob G there. And then, of course, Mateo. Just give thanks to a lot of them. We communicate backstage a lot, not here, but email, phone, and stuff, and come up with a few scenarios and ideas. I just want y'all to kind of meet the crew. And there's a couple more that'll be joining us as well. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you in front of everybody for the support behind the scenes and the work that you guys putting in as we deliver the why, the big secret. Nick sent me some things today that's going to shock you guys, some information on the why, the big secret, and I'm going to go over a lot of it and talk with him. But as I said, I just wanted to verbally and thank all of you, to everyone so they can see that. How about that? Yeah, Steph said, let's get to 4,000. I know. I'm telling you, that's a proud moment. So what we're going to do now, while we all here, we need to raffle off this book. So I don't want to be the only one talking about this book. So if any of you know anything about this story, Betty and Barney Hill? Boy,
Yeah.
I mean, I have shocked.
Yeah.
We know about the story.
We know that story. Mm-hmm.
Look, I must be acting like some pop quiz from school. They all like,
we're all like, oh, somebody else going to answer that?
They all did the school.
Like,
they did
what
the school.
specifically would you like to know, Mr. Martin?
Trick question.
Yes,
exactly.
Kurt,
sorry.
Happy birthday to whomever he's talking to. But yeah, Serge the nerd. Yep, and Serge also is very helpful behind the scenes as well. So I want y'all to know he's providing some data from Reddick. So we have a huge team that we're building that we're going to be doing some great things here as well. So there we go. We got our first super chat for the night. What does ET call his figurative arrival time? ETA?
ATA.
We got a joke.
That's a good one, Serge.
Okay, so
That was clever.
all right, so what does the ET call his car that we don't know what it is when it fly around?
A UFO.
I'm funny. A UFO. Come on, y'all.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Okay. Well, Jesus.
I said UFO.
I was thinking bicycle or something. I don't know. What?
I'm the wheels are turning and it's UFO. Okay. All right. Thank
Jay
you.
Muhammad says, when are you going to get t-shirts, coffee mugs, and carrying bags? I actually have them right now. I just don't put a lot of that up. There is a website that I'm working on. It has a lot of dummy data. Okay. It's called Disclosure Times. It is our newspaper site that we're putting out for people that are writing about these stories. So at disclosuretimes.com, you can go there. In fact, one of you guys put that in the chat for them. And don't go there for content, but if there is a link to Why the Big Secret gear, you can go purchase some t-shirts and you can purchase some mugs, slippers, and a few stuff. I just have not put it out yet, but it does exist. And so I really appreciate you asking. We're all working on it. But anyway, it's there. So we got a lot of people from Billy Carson saying, let me go back now. So we got the Betty and Barney Hill story. Okay. And we're just doing a raffle to raise income for the show, but as well as this particular book. Now I know you can get it from her, but this one actually has an autograph to us through our club when it was called Extraterrestrial Evidence, and it's from Kathleen Martin and Stanton Freeman. So Mateo, you know a little bit background about Stanton. Share that with the audience.
Stanton Friedman was a nuclear physicist, and through the 50s and 60s, and in the late 70s, in the 70s, he got into ufology, and he was the main man after 30 years to go back and revisit the Roswell case. And since then, he has been everywhere and anywhere as far as UFO research conferences. If you wanted, kind of like how maybe like a Richard Dolan is today, Stanton Friedman was the number one on any list if you were to ever want to have a guest on your show or a conference or you were doing a documentary. Very smart guy, always dug into the evidence, collected a lot of evidence. And yeah, what he did for Roswell, we would have never known anything about Roswell if it weren't for him, because Roswell was asleep for 30 years and then he brought it back to life in a big way.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We got a super sticker chat from the M guy, the sci-fi guy. Thank you for the support. But again, if you want to get in, what we're going to do, we have other names. We have the singing bowl over here. It's a singing bowl. And then in here, we already got names of people that have already put their $5 into the chat. For the book. You can buy multiple if you want. The Cash App is there. Send it to the Cash App in $5 increments, and then I will write your name, put it in here. Once we get $100, we will draw the name and ship out to the winner. So hey, right now. So what do you think, Robin, and as well as you, Nicole? What do you think about the story of Betty Barney Hill in the book?
Fantastic story. Yeah, just riveting. When you hear the audio of the regression that they put them through to recall a lot of the details, is bone chilling. It's definitely authentic, sounds real to me for sure. And as Sirius Dogon pointed out, Angela Hill is the daughter of Betty and Barney Hill, and she fights in the UFC currently. So
really,
yeah,
she's the granddaughter.
Granddaughter. Okay. Granddaughter. Yeah. She fights in the UFC, so I think that's pretty crazy.
Wow. Okay. All right. So that's cool enough. So anyway, once again, I I think we have this book is going to be gone really soon because nobody is putting their money in the bowl for the book. Come on, guys.
What do we got? Like 10 more tickets or something we need to get?
No, actually, we need 12 tickets.
12. Okay.
We need 12 more tickets at $5, and we're going to ship this out right here to you. Boom. And it's autographed with a plate from Stan Freeman, which is going to be a collector's edition someday. Just let you know.
Yeah, really.
It already is because he's not here with us anymore. And so you can do that as well. But you're just supporting the show as well. So just let you know it is doing two things as well. And if all of you want to do that, let me see the chat here again.
We're gonna draw that book tomorrow night. We're gonna get those tickets.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tomorrow night we hit 4,000 subscribers as well. So we'll have a big to do tomorrow.
We'll have a big party tomorrow. No, Marie gonna be here tomorrow?
Well, I mean, I'll call and see, but I think that, you know, I like what Rob says. We're gonna have 4,000, but I also like this December 23rd prediction of disclosure that UFOs are going to be here.
31st, he said. Give him the extra. You know,
we're gonna know
the 31st.
We're gonna know all the names of everything, and I mean, it's gonna be like a party like Prince, 1999. Lee Evans said, "Who else is here because of Billy Carson, aka?" All right. Well, I'm just getting in chat, but Cameron, we're gonna talk about your pictures pretty soon too. So I got them all. Yeah, December 31st, right, Rob?
December 31st. Yeah.
Right, Rob?
Disclosure. Disclosure. It's on its way. It's happening. It's coming down the pipe. Too many things are happening. We have bombshell documentaries coming your way. There's Gary Nolan. He has another interview that a lot of people aren't talking about coming out in a documentary, which I heard is 10 times more shocking than the Tucker Carlson interview. So it's coming. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's going down.
All right. Y'all heard him. It's going down December the 31st. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help him out, mess up the dates, you know, like discrepancy.
You trying to mess me up. Yeah, you said it right. Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. All right. So I also want to announce, if you're watching us tonight and you have a UFO story encounter and you want to come onto the show live and then tell us about it, talk to us about it, contact at whythebigsecret.com is the email address. I'm going to put it on the screen real quick. And definitely, if you want to come on into the show, do that. So here is the email address. Just check it out right there. You can come into the show, send me your link, telephone number, and all that. We'll talk about your experience and then definitely bring you into the show from there. So, all right. So again, I'm going to go through the chat and then we'll get everybody out of here. Crystal says, how do I buy the book? All right. So Crystal, basically you see the Cash App is down there. If you just want to buy one of the tickets, you can. Otherwise, we just doing some fundraisers with the book, $50. I have 4 that I'm just going to sell $50. Or you can do the $5 and try to win it as well. But anyway, the good thing about the book is the autograph, and it was actually made to Extraterrestrial Evidence Clubhouse members, which was my former club on Clubhouse before we branded to the trademark of Why the Big Secret. So if you want to Cash App it there, not only you'll support the show, but you'll get this autographed copy directly. You can do that and just put your name in or number or contact, whatever, in the Cash App memo, and I'll call and get your address and ship this out tomorrow if you want to buy it through Cash App. But if you just want to raffle it, $5 per entry, and then we will pull that out tomorrow as Mateo predicted. Okay, him and Rob is like psychic, and so they have these prediction things going on. But Nicole, are you in on with them too? You think we're gonna have this done by tomorrow? Are you coming to the scene?
Yeah, I can see that. Yes.
She said she can see it. Okay,
See?
so
Nicole's right there with us.
I'm just not with the December 31st.
so we got.
I can't co-sign on that.
Where's the love?
So we need a team breaker. So we got me and Nicole, and then Rob and Mateo on this closure of saying you're going to meet whoever this alien's cousin, December the 31st, and you're going to meet this person, and they're going to give you all the stories. They're going to visit Rob first because they believe in him too. And him and Mateo is going to be there for the disclosure. We're all going to be there celebrating the new year together.
I got your back, Rob. I got your back.
It's going to happen here because California is the #1 state for UFO sightings. So if they're coming here, they're off the coast of California, Catalina. We already know that. They have a base there. Disclosure happens here first, and then I'll let you guys know.
And y'all heard that. Yes, Magnetica, $60 buys the last of the raffle tickets for this book, but only through Cash App. Because if y'all send the $60 through YouTube, they're going to take 40% of that, and then they're going to take another month before we send it, and then they're going to add up. So only Cash App for this. And let me just see if we got anybody in here that done it before we leave, so I can recognize them and put their number in the hat. Yeah. All right. So Freya sent $5. Let's put her name. Everybody say thanks to Freya. She's getting in the pot again here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Freya.
Muchas gracias, Freya.
Yeah. In fact, I got a special sound for that. If I know I did, or I wanted to at some point, but I don't anymore. Man, I would want it to make sure.
All right.
Nope, that's not it. But anyway, so Freya, I'm gonna put your name in here. All right, Freya, you're now in the bucket here, and you get the singing bowl sound. There you go. Yeah, y'all can hear that, right? All right, so that is for the greatness of Freya. Anyone else? $5 to the Cash App, or I got an extra book. It is $60 to buy the book on Cash App. Yeah, just know it's $50 to buy the book on Cash App, Crystal. $60 is just we're raffling off, and sometimes they just give anyone else like a ticket or two, like was done the other day. But yeah, if you just want this book, I got 4 that we're just going to send out at $50. Autograph, supports the show, but also with the autograph. So if you Cash App that to that's on below, then I will ship it out to you tomorrow. And then who's going to enter the raffle for this one? So I have the box here that she sent me, that I got. I actually bought them and then made a donation to some things to them. So we just want to give back as we're doing that. So if you're interested, anyone else? Sanasha said, love listening to you guys, thoughts and discussion. Keep up the good work. Thank you. If you find value in it. Now, I'm going to try to figure out, guys, how can we do like a subscriber type drive? I don't know how we can like invite more people for, like if we want to hit that 5K mark, right? I don't know how we would do it if it was like sharing or something. I don't know. Maybe we can come up with something of seeing how many people share this with somebody or whatever we got there as well. Okay, so we're going to be getting out of here in about 5 minutes. We are over about 7 minutes, just to give anybody else an opportunity to support the show if you want to get into the raffle. So now we're down 11 tickets since Freya has joined the fray. Boy, that was on time, right? All right, so Freya joined the fray, and so we're down to 11 tickets, or I got 3, 4 that I can send outright to you. You'll be supporting the show, and you'll be able to be doing that as well. Love the singing bowl. Thank you. He says, okay, Cash App only. Now so wait a minute. Let me go back then. So Sci-Fi, were you the $5 you gave earlier was for the book, or were you super chatting? Okay. Magnetica says 55 left. All right. Jill said, Roderick, the fact that you are alive, acknowledging people, making us feel appreciated is all you need to do, and the numbers will climb. Hey, I appreciate it. What are you talking about? This is what we do. We are a family. In fact, Nicole is going to say we are family to you for coming over here to us, because she greets every new person like that. And I am lying.
I do not.
I'm lying. I made that up. I'm funny, but I made that up, and that wasn't probably funny to her, but I'm funny. C-Tech's the one who sings. How about that? Mateo is the one that does it. He does. No, Rob raps it. That we family, right, Rob? You can't, Rob. You can cut a note.
I can do a little bit of both. Sure, no problem. I'll take care of that. I'll do it. I'll do it.
All right, because Rob will cut some notes for y'all. Okay,
Rob is our resident musician, so we leave that to him.
Yeah. Raymond said, "Thanks, enjoyed the show. Maybe next time have better jokes." I'll have next time have better jokes. You know what? I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that. You know, that was a dream to do like the improv for like 2 minutes and just stand up and say I'm fat and see anybody would laugh or something. You know,
we can leave the jokes to Serge if we want because he had a good joke earlier.
Yes, sir, did. And we'll definitely do that. Okay, let me see. Oh, we got a cash out. We got 2 notifications. Leah sent $5 for the raffle, and then she sent $10 for the support. All right, so Leah is going into the books for the raffle.
Nice. Right. See, I told you it's going to go tomorrow night.
Yep.
We're gonna get there.
You know,
that was a good prediction.
Yeah. So Leah, thank you. You're now in here. Boom. Okay. So again, anyone else want to get in on the raffle? $5, cash up down, or if you want to buy it outright, I got 3 or 4 left. And either way, supports the show, and definitely will give thanks to you. But it's a great book, but the good part about it, Stanton Freeman autograph is in the book, which is a legend. Magneticus says 10 tickets left. And if a Magneticus says 10 or left, then 10 or left. If he says 10 are gone, then they'll be gone. Right? So he's correct. 10 or left. He's correct. 10 or left. But if he says 10 are gone, then they're gone because he's always right either way. All right. So anyone else, y'all got anything y'all want to input before we get out of here? Any things you think the audience we should put some information together for them, or give them something special, or anything that stick out the most to you all for these UFO encounters? Since all of you watch these things, you're into it, just let the audience know. And so I'm just going to go around the room real quick, and then we're going to get out, starting with Rob G. Tell the audience a little bit about you, how long you've been around this, and which is one of your favorite UFOs, because since we've been bringing y'all up, I just want people to know who you are. So tell the audience, you've been around this for how long, and what's one of your favorite stories of UFOs?
So, Mr. Rob G, obviously, I'm a musician, as said before. I've been in ufology. I've been around ufology for maybe
right
5 years now. Came in with Lou Elizondo, the whole New York Times story, learning every day. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm going to bring you what I know, and we're going to learn together. And that's just where I'm at with it.
All right. So Mateo.
UFO, top UFO story. Let me get that one. It was the Battle of LA. Go ahead, Mateo. Thanks.
Battle of LA. All right. So Mateo, what about you?
Well, I don't know if I have a favorite, but I've been around ufology and I've had an interest in this for a long time. As long as, I've been around. As a kid, I was intrigued by it. I think as a kid, I found some plans somewhere on how to make a UFO detector. Don't laugh. Okay. It was funny. It was a magnet hanging on a wire and it set off some buzzer. I swear to God, I made this thing. And it was, my brother and I were into it. My brother was big into it because a lot was going on in those days. And I've just been following it ever since. I mean, I followed all the older ufologists like Stanton Friedman, and I'm following the new ones. I think we're in very unique times right now. From what I can see, the critical mass is building. Something's going to happen, like Rob is predicting. We're getting to that point. We're getting to that tipping point. So that's how that's how I see it. And as far as my favorite case, probably the one that there's a lot of historical cases that I like, but probably my favorite case is the Tic Tac case. And the reason is because Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, these people are credible observers. They're Air Force pilots, FA-18 pilots. They would not have done this. So anyhow, enough said. Thanks to everybody out there for your support as far as to the audience, and thanks for all your compliments and comments. We're here to help back up Roderick, and we love bringing you the information.
Magnetica said your UFO thing is real. So let me close everybody out with a few statements, and thank you guys for coming in. See y'all mañana in a little bit here. So anyway, I'm excited, man. I really am. There's a lot been happening, and I'm really grateful to Billy Carson for allowing me to serve his audience and be a part of what he's building, and it's just been phenomenal. I got contacted yesterday by my agent for a show that is going to be on Amazon pretty soon. And so it's just a true blessing to be able to do that. And hopefully someday this become a full-time, but you have no clue of what is in the works for our group, for our station, and all the things that we was doing. Crystal said Cash App is being goofy. All right, so Crystal, contact me at contact@whythebigsecret.com. Put in your telephone number if you don't mind. I'll reach out to you. We'll figure something out. But anyway, it's all a blessing to what is going on. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, taking your time to come to the show, being part of the audience. And I still want to maintain this as we begin the process and get bigger and bigger. Steph is also very instrumental. KG, all these people been around in the beginning, and it's just a lovely thing to see us growing from 900 to 1,000, 2,500, 3,000, soon 4,000, soon 5,000, soon 10,000, soon 100,000. Because of you, just really makes a dream truly happens and everything else. So I have much love to each and every one of you, and let's just put it out there. And Jamie, I appreciate you. Magneticus, I appreciate you. Syntech, Sanoski, Crystal, KG, Sci-Fi. I'm just going down the list here. Leah, and if I miss you, charge it to my brain and not my heart. But Deborah, Jill, Kurt, Freya, as we keep going to Muhammad, you're here all the time with us as well. And then, of course, let me just keep going. Professor was here with us, and there's just so many other people. Nicole, Boo and Cyrus, all of you. Much love to each and every one of you. And as we do what we do, good night. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay.